Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE Monday Night Raw episode 1398, which was broadcast on March 9th, 2020. But before I talk about that, I want to mention real quick that I watched all 9 episodes of Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet, on season 1 on Apple TV Plus, or Apple Plus, or Apple Plus TV, or whatever you call that service. Too many services are just called Plus. You got Apple Plus. You've got Disney Plus. You've got Battery Plus. You've got... Those are the only 2 that I can... Battery Plus is a store, and it came way before all these other ones. But, like, be original. Come on. Like, Amazon Prime, I appreciate that. Hulu used to be Hulu Plus. Hulu was the first one to do it, I think, out of all the streaming services. But now it's all just Hulu, and it's like a premium account on Hulu or whatever. Yeah, I appreciate HBO Max doing something different, although I didn't even realize until I read it in an article that because somebody else noticed it. It should be, why is it called HBO Max if you don't get the Cinemax stuff with it? Like, that seems... Now that somebody's mentioned it, it seems like that's what the service would be. That it's all the stuff from HBO and all the stuff from Cinemax and all the other stuff that they want to put on there, whatever. So, anyway, okay. That's all I want to say about that. Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet is really, really funny. If you have Apple TV Plus, it's... or you don't have it, well, you can get the first month free. And it's only $5 a month anyway. And if you buy a new Apple device, which might be more difficult in the coming months anyway, but if you have bought a new Apple device in like the last couple of months, you can probably still get like a whole year free of Apple TV. Just go to the Apple TV page in the App Store or whatever. I don't know how to access it from the laptop. Well, you can easily just open a browser or whatever. But anyway, I really recommend it. I think it's my favorite thing that I've watched so far on Apple TV. Other things I really recommend that are worth watching it for is what's the name of the Servant? The M. Night Shyamalan series. That's what I was thinking of. And then my second favorite show is For All Mankind. And my third favorite, Servant is probably like my 4th or 5th favorite. My third favorite would be Dickinson. That show's really good too. So there's lots of really good stuff on there so far, and I was kind of bummed out that I ended it was my choice to end my subscription about a week before Mythic Quest started to come out. Or if it all came out at once, I'm not sure. But then, like a month or so later, I got a new phone. So I got the Apple TV Plus back in the roster of streaming services, which I just have. As soon as I've been trying to cut back unsuccessfully, because I ended up just like adding stuff back in. It is bad. But I did stop my AMC Premiere subscription, so I will not be seeing any movies. Well, I probably will see some movies, but not nearly as much. I had only been using it like 3 times a month anyway, so it's basically just it was only a little bit of a savings. But yeah, there's a couple movies that are coming out in the near future that I'll check out, but all the other ones I'm pretty sure I'll be okay just waiting until they come out on home video. But anyway, all right, let's talk about Raw real quick. My car is in the shop right now. Nothing. Well, there is something wrong with it, but nothing like that stops it from going. But every year so far, this is the 3rd year of it. Every spring, the AC is not working. It's not up to par. And I got to get it recharged or looked at, see if there's leaks and all that. And it's got to be a really slow leak So like the entire winter season when I'm not using AC is just slowly like a micromillimeter, a micrometer, no milliliter, a microliter. Is that I don't know if that's a unit of measurement, but just a little bit each day would be enough. So I think that might be what's happening. And man, by this time next year, I think I'm gonna get a different car. Not a new to me car, not a brand new car, but a new to me car. Just so I don't have to. It's a yearly expense at this point, but to completely fix it, I think would be even more expensive. So, especially since I've already had it redone twice already, and now a third time or whatever. It's like $150 or something like that. It's not terrible, but I mean, that's what is that? 6 months of AMC Premiere? That's why I canceled AMC Premiere or A-List or whatever it's called. AMC Premiere is the streaming service. Confusing. At least it's not AMC Plus. One of them could be Plus, but they went both of the other directions with the different AMCs. Anyway, I'm 6.5 minutes into this episode. So I said the reason I was getting into that is that I was going to try to be quick about talking about Raw, and then I talk forever about the other stuff. Anyhow, let's get to Raw. We open up with Becky Lynch coming out and saying that she's the bee that runs this division. She may be a bee, but she's the bee that runs this division. Bee being the B word that rhymes with rich. Then we had Rey Mysterio versus Angel Garza. Oh, she talked up Shayna a lot. So I thought this promo helped this match quite a bit. Helped the excitement going into this match. If the match ever even happens, if WrestleMania even happens, we don't know. We'll find out tomorrow when they have a big meeting and a big press conference just about WrestleMania. It's not just about WrestleMania, and it's not a meeting just about WrestleMania. It's a meeting that they've been have every week to monitor the situation with COVID-19. So everybody's just jumping on that and being like, "Oh, it's all about WrestleMania. They're going to announce it and all that." No, they might determine that it needs to be canceled tomorrow, Thursday, March 12th in Tampa, city of Tampa, or they might not yet. They might determine next week if things get worse. Then they might decide that they need to cancel all of these huge events. It's not for sure. They're making the solid decision. Everybody's acting like it's like a for sure solid decision. And even if they say that it's still on, that doesn't mean that it's for sure going to happen. It's a day-by-day situation, as we see with all this stuff going on. I want to get into world events. At times this podcast a lot, but it is March 11th when I'm recording this, just in case it's the last podcast that exists or whatever, and it's the last record of what's going on on planet Earth. But so I'm sorry that I'm mostly talking about wrestling and a TV show about video game developers. I didn't even explain what Mythic Quest is about. It's like Silicon Valley, but it's a game development studio, and it's great. And go watch it. It's awesome. It seems okay when you start watching it. It seems like it's a different kind of show than it actually is. It seems like it's going to be a mockumentary, but don't worry, it is not. If you are worried, if that worries you, then don't be worried. If it doesn't worry you and it gets you excited that it's going to be in that style, then cool your jets a little bit, because it's not. That's not the show. It's a great introduction to the show, but it's not what the rest of the show is like. So yeah, it seems like it's going to be like The Office, but it's actually a lot more like Silicon Valley. Both excellent, amazing workplace comedies. Mythic Quest fits right in there among the ranks. Okay. So we had Rey Mysterio versus Angel Garza. Rey Mysterio wins after he counters. What did happen? I think this is how the match ended, because I watched the YouTube version of it as well. And if I remember correctly, Rey went for a destroyer, but Angel caught him, stopped him from flipping around that momentum, and Rey instead turned the momentum horizontally and hit a Hurricane Rana, and then that set him up perfectly for the 619, and then a giant springboard splash got Rey Mysterio the win. So I really enjoyed that match, as I always do with any combination of them. I could go on and on and on about all four of the guys involved in this feud, but I won't. I'll move on to the Rhea package was shown with her at James Hornby Arena. No, what is it called? Raymond James Stadium? Or is it James? I think it's Raymond. There's no Hornby in there. What? Who is Horn? I think that's a character from something that I saw. I don't know. But anyway, Charlotte comes out. She says some stuff. Then Rhea comes out, says some stuff, and then punches Charlotte, and then she leaves. So there you go. Then we had Seth Rollins attempt to recruit Aleister Black. He says, and Aleister Black says, perhaps not. And Seth says, no, you're not getting what I'm saying. You're either with us or against us. And then Aleister Black says, oh, those sound like fighting words, and I accept. So later on, we get Seth versus Aleister Black. But before that, we get the monster against the Terminator. Eric Rowan versus Drew McIntyre, a match for the ages, which ends with Drew McIntyre smashing the cage that presumably has the little robot spider, or the big robot. It's big for a spider. It's little for a robot, in my opinion. I guess it is. It depends on what type of robots you're used to. If you're used to the little scuttlebug things, battle bugs, nanobugs, nanobots, nanobugs, nanobites, nano caterpillar bots. What are those called? Okay. We need to have an ad for the hex bugs. That's what they're called. I didn't even have to look it up. Hex bugs, micro robotic creatures. If you're used to hex bugs, then this spider is gigantic. But if you're used to the robots that are in car factories and things like that, it's a very small robot. Either way, it's smashed. A missed opportunity to have I mean, if it's a robot, then it wouldn't have guts. But if you wanted to play it off that it is a real spider thing, then have guts oozing out of it. You should put a watermelon in there, or a smaller melon. But watermelon is the juiciest. A small watermelon. And then when you smash it, then you get the crunch of the watermelon, and it sounds organic, and you get the guts oozing out of there. It had to be seedless, because you would see the seeds coming out, and you're like, oh, that's just the watermelon that's in there. But if it's not, you would see the watermelon juice and think, oh, that's bug guts or watermelon juice. But I'm not as sure because I don't see any seeds. Anyway, McIntyre he hits the Glasgow kiss on Rowan, and then the gets him back into the ring and hits Claymore and wins the match. Of course. Then we had Asuka and Kairi team up to fight Natalya and Liv Morgan. Asuka and Kairi cut a great promo before the match. It was mostly in Japanese, but it had that passion, it had the excitement in it, and it's just so great to have them just laughing maniacally with all the confidence in the world. It's like, don't even worry about it. It was and stuff like that. So I enjoyed that. Asuka pinned Natalya after Liv kind of she completely abandoned Natalya and attacked Ruby and Sarah, who were at ringside. And so it became Natalya versus Asuka and Kairi, and she just didn't stand a chance. Then we had AJ Styles come out. He's mad at The Undertaker, and he calls him out and his wife out for, she blames her for it, that she wants to see him dead with how much he keeps fighting in these matches and all of that. And that she plays him like a fiddle. And so AJ says he's going to give her exactly what she wants and make sure that The Undertaker dies at WrestleMania. He's going to take his soul at WrestleMania. He's going to take the boy's soul. Not the boy's hole, but the boy's soul. Bring it back to some always. I didn't mention that it's created. Two of the creators Rob McElhenney, I think is his last name. How do you pronounce his last name? Who is also one of the main characters. Charlie Day and Megan Gans, who I think she was a writer. She's been a writer on all kinds of stuff, but I'm pretty sure she was a writer on Community. But they created the show, and so it has it's another Always Sunny, not a spin-off, but from the people. They have their own projects that they've been working on all over the place. And I think this is my favorite one of them. But what's it called? AP Bio is really, really good. It was canceled, but the 2 seasons, maybe there were 3 seasons. I think it was 2 seasons. I think they're all on Hulu. They might not be anymore. But however you can watch it, go check it out. It's really, really good. But also check out Mythic Quest. It's great. Okay, so up next we had Riddy Mo versus Cedric Alexander. Riddy Mo won to retain the 24/7 championship. Man, poor Cedric. Cedric Alexander is friggin' awesome, and he's here not even winning against Riddick Moss. Man, Riddick Moss is great too, but we don't even know anything about him, and he's squashing all these guys. He beat Ricochet last week. This week he beats Cedric Alexander. Justice for Cedric and Ricochet. Anyway, up next we had MVP, who wants to build a stable with Edge as his main guy, and Edge arrives and just completely ignores MVP. So throughout the night they were building up. They had a camera waiting for Edge to get there, just like shooting the parking lot, and there's nothing going on in the parking lot. They're he's coming soon. He's coming soon. We have the camera there when he gets here. It's like, okay, I guess we have to see that. But anyway, Edge does arrive, and let's see, what is that? Oh yeah, he completely ignores MVP and just tells Randy get his ass out here. And MVP is just really annoying, and so he spears MVP, which gives Randy an opening to attack because he was reluctant to get into the ring before then. But Edge hits an RKO to Randy, and then he hits an RKO to MVP, and then hits the concerto on MVP, sending a huge message to Randy that he's going to destroy him. I assume that's the message. So that segment was really good. I enjoyed it, even though MVP was super annoying. But that was the point, so it was successful. And then the entire rest of the episode, which was like 45-50 minutes, with Seth Rollins versus Aleister Black, which I didn't notice. It ended into disqualification when Murphy attacked Aleister, and then Aleister disappeared. I don't know where he went, but the Raiders kept running, and so do the Street Profits, and so does Kevin Owens. They all want the smoke, and so they challenge Seth and his family to a 4-on-4 tag team match. Seth and his family accepts. I don't know why I'm calling him Seth and his family now, but Seth and his disciples. So we ended with that. Aleister Black, I don't know where he went, but it was Street Profits and Viking Raiders versus Seth and the family. And it ultimately ended when Seth hits Montez Ford with a curb stomp and won the match. So, and that was the end of the episode, basically. I forget if Kevin got involved or not. He might have just been eating popcorn. Also, okay, some notable things. So Seth was sharing his popcorn with people in the audience as he was coming down for his entrance. And then also earlier on, Angel Garza, he put his hands on a lady's face and gave her a kiss on the cheek. She gave him a kiss on the cheek. There's all kinds of germs being shared everywhere. And then also Natalia put her cat ears onto a little girl in the front row. And that's, I would argue that that's not as unsanitary as the other two things, but still, you're giving her your hair germs. I don't think Natalia has lice or anything like that, but it is on your head. You sweat, or there could be sweat on the thing. It's like a cloth. It's like a furry stuff. It's absorbent. Can have the sweat germs in there. So, Anyway, there you go. All kinds of events are being canceled today. It was announced that WGI, Winter Garden International, all of the finals events in Ohio were canceled. That was with winds, percussion, Winter Guard. That's a pretty big deal for that activity, because it's a huge event. And some other stuff, really big stuff, was canceled or postponed. The convention I'm going to this weekend is still going on. It's the Las Vegas Toy Con, and as of right now, on Wednesday, I am planning to head out there tomorrow. But that still could change. And waiting until the last possible time that I can to make that decision, whether to go or not, just in case something happens. But anyway, lots of stuff being canceled or postponed. So the big question in wrestling news, the wrestling industry, is WrestleMania going to still happen? And as of right now, that answer to that is yes. But everything, not just in wrestling, everything is like, keep an eye out day to day what's happening with all this. So like I said, it could be, even if it's a yes right now, that doesn't mean it's a yes for the next 26 days or however many days until WrestleMania. That's 26 days of potential change to happen. So hopefully if it does need to be canceled, which seems more and more like it should be, I hope they make that decision in the next week rather than waiting until the week of, like just days before, for as many people's sake as possible who've made huge travel plans to get out there. I know there's a lot of international fans who are flying out, and they have a lot planned around it and aren't necessarily flying out the day of WrestleMania. They could be flying out, the Thursday before, or even a whole week before to do some other traveling first. So I think the sooner the decision can be made, it should be made. But also, like, it could end up, improving so much in the time after they make that decision, which I think we could all really hope for it to happen. In whatever decision is made, we hope for the situation to get a lot better. But I'll be talking about that more as like concrete facts. There's so much speculation about everything, including like anything that I said here could be interpreted, reinterpreted, whatever. Nothing I say should be taken as facts, but instead be encouragement to go and double check the facts and see the updates to the facts. As soon as even as I'm saying it, it could be out of date information because my phone has been in airplane mode for the last 30 minutes. So there could have been like a huge announcement made already, and before I posted this. So go to the official sources, see what official statements are made by WWE. If they haven't said anything about it being canceled, it has not been canceled yet. And if the city of Tampa hasn't said anything about it being canceled, then it has not been canceled yet as far as they're concerned. So those are two sources. I think those are the only two sources to trust about what's going on. Everything else is ranging from mild to wild speculation based on very little information. Just because there's like a meeting that's going to happen that will discuss it, people are jumping to conclusions. That's the only, because they're probably going to discuss it. It's the meeting to discuss specifically WrestleMania, and I'm pretty sure that is not the case. But anyway, check those two official sources, not this podcast or any other podcast, whatever. Just go straight to the sources, WWE and the city of Tampa. they will update everybody if plans change. So there you go. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you thought about this episode of Raw. And if you've watched Mythic Quest, you know how awesome it is, and I want to talk about it, so tweet me about it at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe in iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all the infinite multiverses. Wash your hands, cover your coughs and sneezes, and I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.